have you with us. It's time to stand up to the outrage junkies. Time to battle brittle brains atop balsa wood spines while fighting the thin-skinned nanny staters at every turn. It's Brian. I'm in and very glad you joined us for today's ride. So what do you say? Let's get ready to mortal up. And we are thrilled to have you mortaling up for episode 481 of the Brian Brawdy Show. Just like Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince. We are the artist formerly known as All Natural Being, but now the Brian Brawdy Show. Right? Because I got a metal plate in my head. What natural can there be about me, right? But welcome to your 20-minute victory. 1/72nd of your day. 1/72. If you take 24 hours, cut it into a pie, you get 72 slices. So all we're saying is, with all the craziness going on in the world, you very well could use a cognitive bodyguard. And if we can pull that off in 20 minutes, man, now we're cooking. That's all I'm saying, right? Everyone could use a little help. Hi, it's Brian. We got so much to get to today, including, one, let me just say good morning and say that I wish you the absolute best of days. Thank you to Wayne again for putting all the work in over to Mortal Up. If you haven't had a chance to go over there, you might want to. Oh, also, can I ask a favor? If you get a chance, could you subscribe to our YouTube page? There's all kinds of technical stuff that goes into the reasons as to why we would ask you to do that, but we want to have a little bit of control over the name of it, and we can't get there unless we get 100 subscribers, and then they're like, well, 100 subscribers, look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants. You can call this channel anything you want. So if you could hook us up, help us out, we really super appreciate it. Boy, I got some sun yesterday. See what happens when I don't have a makeup crew here? I took a nice hot shower this morning too, though. It's cold here, very, very cold, which will lead me, I've got to tell you this. Okay, we don't have that much time, but let me get to this right away. The balloting today for lowlifes making headlines, it was down to the wire. I mean, it just right before showtime, we were like, wow. And then late yesterday afternoon, right, a horse from back in the pack. Now, I'm not calling her a horse. I could just hear people complaining. I'm not suggesting she's a horse. I'm just saying one of the runners from the back of the pack sprinted up and crossed the finish line ahead of the World Health Organization. Not the band, but the World Health Organization. He was posed to take the tape, right? Snap the tape. He was going to be our lowlife making headlines, but we had a winner that surged, oh, golly, late afternoon yesterday and overnight tonight. And look, you got to go where the vote is, right? What am I, Chicago? Vote early and often? No, we stick with the vote. That's what we say all the time in our pre-show meetings. Stick with the vote. Whatever the vote is, that's what we pick. So let's get to that. We got a little bit of breaking news first, and then we'll get to lowlifes making headlines because I just like to get it out of my, off of my chest. But I was so excited because, to be honest with you, I had a little bit of, I knew the way the vote was going to go because this lady pushed hard yesterday afternoon. And so I couldn't sleep last night. I was so excited to tell you about the winner. We almost did the show last night, but I said, no, I'll try to get to sleep early. I'll watch a rerun of The Blacklist, my favorite show. I root for the psychopath. I'll watch a rerun of The Blacklist, and I'll try to fall asleep. That's how excited I was. All right, let's get to this. We got a lot. We got a lot to do. Let's do this. Yeah, that's right. A breaking news story so big we needed the sound of two drums. All right, here's my breaking news story. Now, as you know, yesterday, I may have mentioned that I went to the store. I think it was yesterday I mentioned this. And I wore a mask because everyone's saying, oh, you got to wear a mask. You got to wear a mask. All right. And someone said, well, in New York now, you got to be careful with everything going on. You need to wear a mask. So I said, oh, well, this is a mask. I wore it at Halloween. No one could tell. Right? They said, no, you're making fun of Chuck Schumer because he isn't wearing his mask right. So you at least, right, if you're going to wear a mask, wear it right. So someone dropped this off for me yesterday. Here's our breaking news. You ready? Excuse me. Here's our breaking news. Drop us off here. Oh, man, I forgot to do this. Okay, for everyone that asked, thank you so much. Prayer bowl, heard round the world, replacing the gong heard round the world. Thank you very much for that. So now what I did was the friend of mine brought this over and he goes, oh, well, if you're going to wear a mask, you might as well wear it might as well be the real thing. Make sure, who are you? Chuck Schumer? You don't want to make sure that your nose isn't covered, right, in case you sneeze. So this will be the mask that I'm wearing today. I like it. Hides my hair lip. Oh, hides a good part of my scars. I bet you can still see the horseshoe from behind, but it hides a good part of my scars, and you can kind of hear me, can't you? All right, so that's the breaking news. I'll be wearing, what is this? A Spider-Man. I'll be wearing a Spider-Man mask when I go out and about today. That's the news. All right, so here we are. I'm so excited about this. Let's just get to it. Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. All right, so I know Wayne worked overnight to get the certificate ready to send out to today's winner. We'll get to that in a minute, but I have to tell you, I learned about this late yesterday afternoon, where the governor, and I think her name's Whitmore. Whitmore, is that the? I'll see when I come up here. But the governor of the state of Michigan, she wasn't content just saying, you got to stay home. I'm sending you to timeout. You're not allowed to socialize with your neighbors across your, right? Not even moving between residences. Everyone's got to be locked down. Well, yesterday afternoon, I saw a video, thanks to somebody on Twitter, where she was on, said, oh, we're supposed to get 30 inches of snow here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We're supposed to get all kinds of snow. It's too snowy to go outside, so stop your whining. What are you complaining about? Of course I issued a lockdown order. What do you care? You're going to be snowbound. So what? I tell you what to do. So in addition to wearing our low-life making headlines, and it's a beautiful certificate, wait till you see it, she gets our award today for the totalitarian meteorologist, forecasting with a heavy hand since, well, yesterday afternoon, I guess. So Governor, what is her name? Gretchen Whitmer gets our totalitarian meteorologist forecasting with a heavy hand since 2020 or thereabouts. All right, so you might be saying, hey, Brian, well, let's take a look at the certificate. Here you go. It will be mailed to her. Let me see, Michigan governor. She ought to be easy to find. Gretchen Whitmer is our winner for the low-life making headlines for today. Like I said, she sprinted late last evening and overnight to take the tape, if you will, to cross the finish line in first place from the asshat over at WHO, not the band, the World Health Organization. So she sprinted to the finish to win. She is our totalitarian meteorologist forecasting with a heavy hand, right? Is that what I want to say? Calling your weather with an iron fist. Oh, forecasting with an iron fist. Yeah, that would have been funnier if I could have remembered it. Forecasting with an iron fist. Governor Gretchen Whitmer will bang one of these right out in the mail to her, so she'll be, I'm sure she's going to be thrilled. And you know what? I saw something else on Twitter. Don't you think Whitmer looks like a young Alyssa Milano? I do, like a pre-Botox Alyssa Milano. I do. I'm just saying. There we go. All right, let's get to it. Welcome to your audio vitamin, or as we like to call it around here, sound bites that you can wash down with your first cup of coffee. I love that. All right, let's get right to it. And you're thinking to yourself, what, have you gone crazy? Hey, in thousands of live television appearances, thousands, I've never slipped once and cussed someone. We did this. And we said, ooh, what's the audio vitamin going to be today? You ready for this? Because today's audio vitamin, and I thank you again, Wayne, and all the crack staff at Brian, Brawdy & Associates for putting together the thumbnail for this, right? So I go, oh, well, you just can't say that on this. So here's what we're going to do. The fortune cookie. That's the name of our little thing for today. So I think, hoping I have I have this little thing. Well, I'll show you what I did, right? Because I haven't figured out how to edit the audio, so I just did this. So hopefully that drowned it out, right? Everyone in my family will probably think that's some kind of alarm I'm calling from. They'll come running down and crash into the studio. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? They're very nice. They are very nice to me. All right, so here's the deal with your audio vitamin for today, and we're talking about the fortune cookie. Here's the thing. The reason that I say the heck with the fortune cookie, your fortune is yours to forge, right? Your destiny is yours to decide. You get to pick what the present moment yields to you and what you're going to do with those natural resources, which is why I think, you know what, everyone's busy bashing China. I'm not bashing China, although I said shows ago, I went public shows ago and said, I don't even think they have bats at the Wuhan wet market. I don't think this is something, I don't think so. I don't think so. And now we hear that the story may be coming back around. It's a good thing I planted the flag when I did. But with all the craziness going on in the world now, we don't need any fortune coming from a cookie or a government for that matter. You decide what you're going to do to chart your future. You decide what you're going to do so that when the moment comes, when fate confronts you, you can go, no, I'm good. I can handle this. So now, in your downtime, right, under siege, if you live in Michigan, I don't even know if you can walk to the mailbox if you live in Michigan. I should anyone living in Michigan, let me know. All right, if you live in the land of the totalitarian meteorologist, by all means, let me know. Because I don't even think you can walk to your mailbox. So what are you doing? If you're not going to rely on your fortune from an outside source, you're going to rely on your own natural resources to forge that fortune. What's it going to be? What can you be learning? And I know it's impossible to try to get on the internet now. I get that. But is there a book you could read? Is there something you could do to hone your head, to tap into the reserve that is yours, that authentic vigor that we always talk about? What could you do if you knew you could not fail? And I think, and we talk about this a lot, I think this sense of amnesia is that people just, they turn their backs on themselves. And I said the other day, look, your life begins to unfold when you stop taking your own crap. And I think that's the case here. Stop believing in all the negative press about you. We talked, I know, about the fake news. Well, the greatest reservoir, if you will, of fake news are those people saying, you'll never amount to anything, you'll never pull it off, you don't have the talent, you don't have the time, you don't have the money. Well, I guess we all have the time now. You don't have the talent, you don't have the money. Well, you certainly may not have the money, but you absolutely have the freaking talent. So all I'm suggesting is instead of going to the fortune cookie, instead of looking to outside sources to be your cattle prod, to be to jumpstart your own mind, and that you get to dictate what happens when you apply your natural resources. I don't know what it is. I know that authentically it's in you. I did an interview yesterday afternoon, I guess it was. I was going to say earlier on Monday. What's today? Wednesday already? Earlier on Monday, I did an interview, and the guy was really nice, and he said, hey, well, what's your secret? What's the thing? And I said, I have to tell you, I believe that pregnant in every moment, in martial arts or in law enforcement, you call it weaponize your surroundings, right? So in that particular moment and all of time, what is it that you can get to that can aid you in whatever it is you're battling in that moment? Well, I believe within the human mind, the fingerprints of providence, as you've heard me call them, here in the labyrinth of life, the garden of the mortals itself, everything presents itself right in that particular moment so that you can use it. So my question to you is, what's presenting itself right now, outside of all the noise? This interview, he asked me, he goes, well, what do you do? And I said, I have to tell you, and I'll give you this just little thing. Whether you believe in God or gravity, right? I couldn't care less. You should, I don't, just the way I am. Whether you believe we walked off the savannas of Africa or we were evicted from the Garden of Eden, couldn't care. Okay, doesn't matter to me. It should matter to you. Doesn't matter to me what you think. It's important to you. All I'm suggesting is either God or gravity, primate or the petri dish. You and I are a breath. You and I are a collapse of the wave function. You and I, whether you believe in the Holy spirit or the Wholly spirit, right? Whether you believe in the Father or the field, you and I are a collapse of that wave function. You're either the great grandchild of the divine or of the field, one of the other. So what I do every evening, and his question was a really great one, but what I do in the mornings before I come in and to start this, and what I do in the evenings is I try to go back. Everyone says, oh, what happened in the first, billionth of a second after the Big Bang? What I try to do is go back to the first billionth of a second after the collapse of the wave function that is Brian. The first nanosecond after you had the big breath, right? You hear me say the big bang or the big breath. Just the nanosecond right after the big breath, right after God breathes into you. And what I do is I like to go back and pare away everything that falls on me, everything that kind of like the cocoon, right, for your own good, all the socialization, all the propaganda, all the things that were kind of packed in around you. Well, I like to go back in my mind, and as you know, doing the breathing, it's a big thing for me. I like to go back and imagine myself going farther and farther, backwards, 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 backwards. I want to get to the nanosecond right after the collapse of the state vector, the collapse of the wave function, right? And then go, all of this socialization, was it good for me? Does it help me or does it hurt me? Right? Go all the way back. Where did I learn to be jealous? Where did I learn to be triggered? Where did I learn to be outraged about everything? Someone else asked me the other day, well, what's the key to life? I go, the key to life is studying your triggers. That's the key. It's not about success. It's not about happiness. It's not about all this other crap you hear all over the place. What's the key to life? Question your triggers. What is it that upsets you? For that matter, what is it that really makes you happy? Whatever causes you to be triggered, that's where the gold is, right? That's where your journey should end. And you can't follow anyone else there. What is it? Joseph Campbell tells us, and I think it was The Hero of the Thousand Faces, or it may have been one of his later books, Flight of the Wild Gander. But he's talking about the Holy Grail. And he quotes some of the early writings from the Holy Grail, and there's a picture of the knights, and they're bent over on their horse, and there's an angel in this thick wood, and he says, they entered the forest. Now, this is in search of the Grail. They entered the forest where there was no track nor path, where the way was lost, because to follow in the footsteps of another would have only brought them shame. No Holy Grail, shame. If you follow anyone else, you're going to get that shame. So my question to you is, if you go way, 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 way back, and you can get your mind back to the nanosecond after the collapse of the wave function, after that breath, and go, everything that was glued onto me, all the, sometimes you run through those fields and you get all those little lock seeds and stick seeds stuck to your socks. Same thing with your soul. Same thing with your spirit. Same thing, at least, with your persona. And you go, what did I catch? What hooked onto me? And then decide for yourself, not for anyone else, right? Enter the forest where there was no track nor path, where the way was thickest and lost, where the way was darkest. What are the things that stuck to you that nanosecond right after the big breath, right after the collapse of your wave function? And does it serve you now? Great. If it doesn't, drop it like a bad habit. When we talked before about PTSD, put the sadness down, put the shock down, put it down. But a nanosecond right after that collapse, any of the baggage that you and I have, does it hurt us or does it help us? If it hurts us, out the door. If it helps us, I'll take a couple of spoonfuls of that. All right, we've got to get ready to go. In keeping, as you know, with our promise not to break the internet and the 20-minute victory, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you all so very much. Don't forget to join us over, oh, yes, of course I will. Please remember, totalitarian meteorologist, she will get, Gretchen Whitmer will get her certificate mailed out to her. We will take care of that. Do not worry. Thank you so very much for joining us. Before I get out of here, please, if there's anything else we can do for you, hit us up over at mortalup.com, MORTAL up.com. Because if you know, as I believe, if you look up, if you stand up and you bring your own bold, there's never been a better time to mortal up. So please reach out to us if we can help you in any way, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and if I get a chance to bump into you over on the web, I look forward to interacting. All right, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.